Welcome to Rankings Uncut. Of course, I'm Jonah Wooler with my partner Clayton Guillory, representing in the Texas MIAO, Texas Miami connection tonight. Clay, you just left South Florida yesterday. Just locking in some things. When we get into the show, we'll share some interesting YNC news. But tonight is an action-packed show. We talk about dropping rankings from 6U to 14U. We're also talking about national bids will be given out tonight. I mean, people been on hold for all week. Like, am I gonna get? I'm gonna get the bid tonight. You'll find out. And then, of course, there's some important stuff about YNC in a whole, locations, the vibe, all those things as a structure going on this entire national championship week. So as we are in the month of November, man, we're getting closer and closer. Just 1 month away from the 2021. We rocking it on our hats, Clay. How special is this 2021? National Championship Series going to be here in South Florida?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be crazy because of the simple fact of we coming back to South Florida. South Florida is where we originated it. It's where we started it. Of course, because of COVID protocol, we had to head up a little bit further north to Bradenton. Had a dope vibe there, man. But it's nothing
Yeah.
like being in that Broward and Dade County, man. It's nothing like it. So to be back down there, to have the national championship at Trask Stadium, man, it's gonna be
Dope.
crazy, and it's sick, man. Because while I was in Florida this week, I went and rode out to Trask, walked the facility with the director, and he was telling me a little bit about the history. And I'm looking at all the upgrades that Nike poured into the stadium, man. And you know how people say you go somewhere, you kind of get goosebumps. It gives you
Right.
that vibe a little bit, man. So hopefully, the parents, the coaches, the players, hopefully everybody can appreciate what we did to really get that thing back to the Mecca.
Absolutely, man. And when those kids go in the locker room and they see the murals of all the players and the coaches, man, it's just a lot of history there. I mean, you name players like Dalvin Cook, Teddy Bridgewater, Geno. I mean, you could just go down a whole page of it. And those guys that's currently playing the NFL cliques were in the same cliques that these kids that will be putting it in here from around the country. And that's special because let's say your kid out of Montana, your kid out of California, you're not too really familiar with the 305 history, but you're familiar with the NFL history. So that's the difference at playing at the stadium. You talk about kids that have graduated and are playing on the highest level right now. So super exciting, man. But Clay, is just not Trask Powell. I mean, let's be real. A couple years ago, this was all a vision that came together. YNC was not something that was put together 20 years ago. This came in some collective rooms. We met in Atlanta years ago, brought in some of the top coaches at the time then, and really just wanted to hear from the people. How should this be? What should be the structure? Would be the fairest thing to put these kids all on one platform to just really take it to the next level? And that's how YNC was birthed. So with that, finding the facilities that can hold that many fields, holding it down in particular areas. The first year we had it in multiple sites. And the year before we were at Miramar Regional. But the thing about Miramar Regional, man, when it rains, that's natural football fields. And man, we got it on the internet. Oh man, it was muddy, it was this, it was that. They're always waiting for a reason to go ahead and jump online. But Clay, that's going to be different this year. Share with the people what's going down. Because at IMG had certain fields. Oh, they didn't have the field goals for the 6U. They had the clocks. History. Talk to them, bro.
So let's be real. In the what is it, 5 years now, Jonah, since we started the YNC, we got hit with rain one year. What was that, year 3, year 4? Really, really hard. The year right before
Yeah.
COVID, and it totally saturated the fields. And I don't necessarily think it was the rain before we got there. It was literally the hours before the first that came. It came
Right.
down so hard, man, and with the athletes and the competition level that we have, man, those guys really dug in and wore the fields out. And everybody was just kind of talking down. But here's the reality. There are no facilities in South Florida where you're going to find 6 to 8 turf football fields. I mean, that
Right.
facility just doesn't exist. And it'd be a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, here in Texas, we have some of the most expensive facilities in the world, and I want to say maybe there may be 1 or 2 facilities like that in Texas. I think the closest thing would be Round Rock, where you have 5 turf fields. out of 10. So with that being said, man, people were asking for something that's not really feasible. Then we say, you know what? Pandemic, we're gonna move a little bit further up north, a little bit easier COVID guidelines. We take you to IMG, what everyone considers the premier school athletic facility in the country. State of the art stadium, a couple state-of-the-art practice turf fields, but most of the fields that we used were soccer fields converted to football fields. And of course, all those soccer fields, you're talking about a venue that has 14 soccer fields, they're not going to have 14 sets of goalposts or 14 scoreboards out there. So then people wanted to talk down on that. So here's what I decided to do, man. And I've been working hard on this. I want to make sure that we've got a dope facility that has great natural grass. I want to make sure that we've got goalposts at every field. I want to make sure there's clocks on every field. I want to make sure that there is a press box on every field. I want to make sure that these kids have every opportunity, period, to perform at the top level. Because what do we always say? At the YNC, the best play here. So we're going to give you some of the best facilities in South Florida to be able to do that. So with that being said, all bracket play games, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So listen to me carefully, folks. All bracket play games, Tuesday, December 7th, Wednesday, December 8th, and Thursday, December 9th, will be played at Village Park Athletic Complex in Wellington, Florida. Beautiful complex. We've condensed everything down so we can get larger crowds and more concentration on the big games. Every field has goalposts. Every field has score clocks. Every field has press boxes. I mean, you're talking about a facility that is in South Florida, one of the top youth athletic facilities in the country. Plenty of parking. So parking is not going to be an issue as well, too. Now, some people may say, hey, man, how far of a travel is that? I'm going to tell you, I'm not from Florida. But when I went down there, I landed in Fort Lauderdale Airport, and I jumped on the turnpike at 3:30 in the afternoon, which is when traffic starts to get heavy. I was there in 38 minutes. 38 minutes. And when I came back after I met at the facility, back to Fort Lauderdale at 6:30 when traffic is at its heaviest, I was back in 42 minutes. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know what highway, but I'm going to tell you, if you get on that turnpike, it's love on that turnpike. You got, when you get your rental car, get the little pass. It may cost you a few extra dollars. It's going to save you a ton of money.
Yeah, man. Well, Clay, I think you just hit it on the head because it has to show growth every year. It has to show where these top athletes can be really just where they just get to play, like you say, in the best situation, man. And of course, from the media standpoint, our cameramen are super excited because every field has a press box with stands and things. So, you know, when you go to some of these play-down games, you got to stand around the games in a rope and just kind of hang out in the background. Here you got stadiums and you got stands for each particular field and a press box. So all the cameramen, all those games, we're going to be live streaming every particular field. So, man, we super excited about it. But, Clay, it just doesn't stop there.
Before you go, Jonah, let me comment on this because I see people asking, where is it? It is from Fort Lauderdale Airport. It is 38 minutes. 38 minutes. I drove it myself, not being from the area. And I can tell you, I drove from the airport there 38 minutes. I drove back from the facility to the airport in 43 during heavy traffic. People are asking, how far is it from Miramar? 30 to 40 minutes. And let's be real, a lot of us live in major cities. You drive you drive further than that just to get to work. You know,
100%.
And of course, you're still gonna have your national championship in Miami at Travis Powell Stadium.
Yeah, man. So super excited about that, but it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about as soon as they get off the airplane, because you mentioned those bracket games are going to be Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Thursday. But when they come in and it's time to register, tell me what's that vibe gonna feel like, Clay?
So the great thing about certification on Monday, December 6th, is we've got a enormous ballroom that we're going to allow you guys to come in and have a great time. We're going to do all teams together in one age group at a time. We'll have designated time starting from 1 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for every specific age group to come in and get certified. We're going to have the battle tent in there. We're going to have the DJ in there rocking. We're going to have Jonah set up with the Generation Next desk giving live interviews as people continue to bid bid what they're going to do out there. I mean, it's going to
Right.
be a great event. It's going to be a memorable event, and most importantly, it's going to be something that these kids can really enjoy. And then, of course, one thing I look for when I look for a certification area, especially after IMG, I look for something with a lot of parking because I know you parents like the parking lot pimp. So it's
Right.
tons of parking out there at Signature Grand. So you got all the room that you need.
Hey,
So
you know
again,
who the
guys,
parking
like
lot
I've been
pimp
telling
is?
you.
You know who the
Oh,
parking lot pimp
come
is,
on,
man. And
Jonah.
I know he probably on here, man. You already know it. IMG, I still can't say this, man. IMG, I walk out of my hotel room. I want to say, I'm like, man, let me go for a walk, man. You know, games tomorrow is 1 a.m. Nobody going to be out here. Let me go ahead and get a brisk walk going on. 1 a.m., I'm hearing Drake. I'm hearing Snoop. And I'm like, man, fried chicken. I'm like, man, what's going on? Man,
Did
Lambo
I say
got
1
a
a.m.? My bad.
RV.
1 p.m. 1 p.m. My bad.
Nah,
Did I say 1 a.m.?
I'm telling you 1 a.m.
My bad. My
I'm
bad.
telling you 1 a.m. Lambo out there in
Oh.
the parking lot frying chicken, playing Drake. I'm like, man, these dudes, how y'all gonna play football, man? These cats up here at 1 in the morning. But hey, listen, it's part of the experience of just coming down and enjoying yourself as a family, and that's what we want everyone to look for. Hey, we all excited about the X's and O's. We love football like anybody else, but most importantly, man, the experience that these kids gonna be the brilliant football minds that's gonna be in one city, all the way from 6U to 14U. It's an experience like no other. So I would just tell y'all, come down, enjoy yourself, and take advantage. Just don't focus on just the football games, but enjoy the city, man. Enjoy South Florida.
And this is why I've been telling people since we started the show, when you make your reservations, fly in on the 6th that morning. Fly in that Monday morning because we knew that we might have to move some things to make it work to just try to get the
Right,
best experience for these kids. And we got
right.
everything locked in. We rocking and rolling. And all I can tell you is, man, get ready for a hell of a Y&C this year.
Yeah. So you did you walk through those? So that's the walk. So you get off the airplane, you get registered, get all the kids, get all their bands on. That happens there at Signature Grand, which is right off 595. That's literally 10 minutes from the airport. You get out when you guys get out, you rent a car, you get on the highway, you whip it. You're gonna come to a big facility, get in the parking, get situated. We're gonna give you all your packages, everything that you need to get to. Like we said, we're gonna be interviewing all the kids, pregame interviews with the coaches. Really just about how y'all representing y'all city on a national level. And then, man, then it's going down. The next day, it's football. It's time to, put up or shut up. All the talking and all the rankings really just kind of go out the window. And you got to play football from game one, round one. I won't say it's win or go home, but basically it's win or go home.
And guys, listen, a lot of you guys have really put a lot of time, effort, and money into your kids' success this year. Let's make sure the administrative part of this whole thing is done so these kids can take advantage of this opportunity. Don't get all the way down there and we forget something very crucial, and then a kid can't participate or a team gets disqualified because they don't have all their administrative stuff in line. One thing you got to realize, guys, as the team start getting these invites, everybody that I dropped an invite to last week, they received their invitation from the Zort system to go ahead and start uploading their roster, getting their kids either gold or silver player cards, and making sure to now, what's coming to tonight and tomorrow over the next 48 hours to all those teams, along with the teams that I'm dropping tonight, you're going to get the certification schedule. You're going to get your PDF copy of your invitation so you can put on social media and talk shit to everybody. You're going to get the player validation form. You're going to get the event schedule. You're going to get the hotel information so you guys know the best hotels to book at that's going to keep you within a reasonable driving distance to Wellington as well as the Trash Pile. That whole information packet will be sent out an email to everyone within the next 48 hours. We're dropping some more invites tonight, but what's the use of an invitation if a kid can't participate?
Right.
Guys, even though you upload everything in Zorts, please, please, please make sure you bring these hard copy IDs with you, because there's a 3 certification process to the YNC. There's the online process with Zorts. When you get there to certify, we verify in Zorts, and then we need to physically see that ID. I repeat, physically see the ID. I can hold it. It must be hard copy. No paper copies will be admitted. Can't be a picture of it on someone's phone. And then the third verification is at the field, our YNC official will verify everybody again using the Zort system before the game starts. It's 3 levels to this, guys. If you miss any one of the 3 levels, a team could get disqualified or the player may not be eligible to play. And trust me, guys, I want all these kids to enjoy this. But at the same time, we can't compromise the integrity of the event. We need to make sure it's fair and square for everyone.
Can't tell you how many times. Hey Clay, man, I don't got the paper, man, but my team mom can, their mama can send it through the phone real quick. I can send you a picture of it real quick. I seen it, man, and it's unfortunate because you got a kid who flew X miles and they're not playing football, not because it's the kid's fault. Everybody involved. So as Clay said, to piggyback on that, as coaches and team mom, that's just to be a new challenge for you to make sure before each one of those babies leave, you have those hard copies inside of your roster book. Because the one thing is, like you said, Clay said, we can't compromise that. Next thing we go online after the game, oh, that team, this and this and this and that. And speaking of that, Clay, I get a lot of questions, man. I probably get like close to 100 inboxes a day. One of the frequent questions I get, hey, man, I got a kid that, man, he played down at my park. He's on the 7U. We want to bring him up to play and get the national championship experience. He played at my same park, man. What's the harm in that? Explain that real quick so we can get some of those inboxes just cleared up.
So listen, guys, a lot of times, especially when you're talking about 6U and 7U, you have some exceptional 6U kids who sometimes will go up and play 7U to help their organization, which is not illegal. A kid can play up. The thing that the kid cannot have is he cannot be certified on both rosters at the YNC. Whichever roster he was certified on, when we receive those official rosters, that's the team that the kid will participate in. So let's just say you're in a league that did allow Timmy to certify on both rosters. Timmy has to play his real age group at the YNC. So it's just that simple. I mean, there's nothing gray about it. The rules are the rules. And that's how we're going to cut it. I see some people talking about in certain states, they don't allow kids under a certain age to get IDs. If your players are in that state, when you receive your invitation packet, you need to email back to us and let us know who those kids are and what states they're in so we can verify on our end, and then we will let you know what documentation needs to be supplied for that player to be certified.
All right, 100%. So did we get the administrative stuff out the way, Clay? We good? We touched all bases?
Man, we got the administrative stuff out the way. We are good to go. The only other thing I want to touch on is a vicious rumor that's been flying around. I've been seeing it on social media. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we catch it, not only is the player gone, but the team is gone.
What?
Okay?
Uh-oh.
I know in the preseason, a player and a parent is free to do whatever they want with their child. Under the YNC guidelines, if a kid plays one regular season with Jonah's team and the parent gets mad after that and switches him to Clayton's team, he cannot play with Clayton's team at Nationals. That is considered 2 regular season rosters. He will have to play Nationals with Jonah, and that's only if he meets the minimal game guidelines for Jonah's team.
Right.
So again, I don't know who started this rumor. I don't know who's saying, oh, well, you did this and you did that. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. No system is perfect. People going to do whatever they can to try to cheat the system. And I say hats off to you, good luck. But if I find out you've cheated, you're gone. And it's been proven. I've had parents, coaches, and players crying right in front of me. Hey, man, the rules are the rules.
Then y'all walk off and leave them with
nobody.
Hey, holler at him, Jonah, holler at him. But yeah, so what Clay is saying, man, listen, and we won't hop on this too much, but you get some coaches that or dads that feel, hey man, I want the best of the both worlds. So it didn't work out for me over here, man. So I'm finna go take off over here on another national championship team. So we can't control what you guys do with your own parks, never what we want to. That's not our responsibility. But once you turn in your rosters, and that's how we are able to, I won't say police it, but that's how we're able to just keep up with those teams and certify them properly. So if we have kids bouncing around throughout the year on a bunch of different teams, then there won't be any validity to your to us checking them in. So just keep in communication with us. Let's try to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, it's about the kids. It's not about us adults just trying to win a trophy or trying to win you some battle uniforms and get bragging rights for the off season. It's about giving them the experience. But man, we got the administrative stuff out the way. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're dropping these rankings and it's going to invites. It's time to go ahead and lock in right here on Rankings Uncut.
You ain't never in the city, how the f you niggas active? I be hollering free lil' Sunny till I'm screaming that shit backwards. How you sliding, ain't nobody dying, that's a Kappa rapper. These lollipop, and I better yet, them boys the rapper. If I call it, it's disaster. Nobody matters. Can't catch my drift, I be swerving right there past it. You sent them boys to crash, oh that's your ass, go get the powder. I rock to make them ends meet, Lil' Nine ain't tryna battle. I pick you.
I wanna talk about them Texas and Florida boys, come check us out. Yeah, check us out, yeah.
That damn Jahad, man. Jahad's a motherfucker, man.
Come check us out. So I'm glad that Jahad's back healthy, man. Louisville is back with all their players, so they're looking to press when it comes to the postseason. So Clay, 12U, we'll talk about that stuff. That's going to be an exciting age group. But people tuned in real quick. We'll start from the 14U, Clay. Take off from the 14U on these top teams right now, top 15 in the country, of course. What does the top 15 mean here in Generation X and YNC? Well, it's all about seeding. It's all about getting those teams in that particular place. Not only is it for your invite, but if you're number one team, we feel, hey, you put in that work, you should deserve the easy road to the national championship because you put it in during the year. So your placement in rankings is going to seed you when you get here in South Florida. And I got to tell you, the weather was beautiful today, South Florida, for all my South Florida people logged in. Y'all could go ahead and put the degrees on right now. We're not trying to brag, but that's what it is when you come down here in South Florida. And that's why we like to have the championship here. So Clay will tell you that there'll be some different age groups that have more or less inside of the actual bracket. But we'll as we get closer to the championship, we'll break that down. So Clay, without further ado, 14 and under, I guess you start from 15 and climbing on up to the 1.
All right, so listen, guys. Current Generation Next national rankings, 14U, sitting at number 15. You have the East Side Cowboys out of Michigan. Number 14, and this is a team that is always, in the top 15 every year, Maryland Seahawks out of Maryland. Number 13, you have the 757 Colts in Virginia. And at number 12, the Lakewood Spartans out of Florida. Now, the number 11 team is a team I've seen play a couple times. We watched them in the preseason in DMV. I heard they had a big weekend in New Orleans this weekend. Even though they lost, they lost to a top 4 team in the country, and it was a pretty competitive game. So sitting at number 11, you have the Alpha Dogs out of North Carolina. Number 10, the Rockledge Raiders in Florida. And number 9 is Pompano? Is that right?
Yeah, Pompano Eagles, yeah.
All right. Now we're looking at the top 8 in the country. And in a perfect world, these 8 teams would be commits to the YNC, but we all know that doesn't always happen like that. So with that being said, number 8, 14U in the country right now is the Harbor Area Pilots out of California. Sitting at number 7, you have the Old Town Ducks in Michigan. Now, number 6 team is a team I'm excited about, man. And I hope, traditionally this team is an AYF team, but I hope that they decide to either try to do both or say, you know what, we're going to challenge ourselves and go to the YNC. The Montana Grizzlies out of Montana, I just want to see how they play.
They bring to the
table. Sitting at number 5, defending national champion Vegas Strong out of Nevada. Number 4, and these guys had a big weekend in New Orleans, and Coach Rip always has a tough team, Mississippi Wolfpack. Your number 3 team down in Florida. And I can tell you what, I know these guys are ready to represent at the YNC, and that's the Osceola Cowboys. The number 2 team in the country, Coach Keefe, he's always stayed strong. I believe the last conversation I had with him, unless someone has changed his mind, is that he's going to try to do both, which is he's going to try to do AYF and YNC. OG California. And then, of course, the number 1 team in the country, and they are already 100% committed to the YNC. They're not playing anywhere else. And they say if you want them and you want that number 1 spot in that national title, you know where you got to come. And that's the OC Buckeyes out of California.
Yeah, but hey, Clay, don't try my boy Keefe. Keefe has not missed a YNC since the inception of YNC. He's not missed one. So a credit to his team, and he's been loyal. Yeah, he's tried. Sometimes he's tried to do 3 tournaments in a year: FBU, YNC, and AYF, and he was successful. As a matter of fact, and triple crowned it one year. So I'm not expecting.
Here's the benefit, Jonah.
Yeah.
Here's the benefit, and I didn't think about it till you just said that.
Yeah.
The benefit of us moving the bracket play to Wellington for those teams that are trying to pull the doubleheader with AYF and YNC. Now the event is 45 minutes, maybe even an hour closer to them.
Yeah.
So there's no complaining now. We've just shortened the gap for your travel.
Right. Absolutely, man. Well, talking about teams that shortening the gap, man, at 13 and under, Cali Bears. Listen, there's so many good 13Us in California, and they're all close in competition, and that's why right above them is another team from the state of California, San Diego Bolts, led by a former NFL player. One of my favorite teams out of California representing. I got to tell you, that's a special team. If they can make it to the YNC, as these other teams may kind of, take L's in their Super Bowls and playoffs, look for that Bolts team to be very special. Of course, Frederick Bird's Yellow Jackets pulled off a big win in Halloween over there at 4 Quarters of Pressure, or the Halloween Massacre, I should say, hosted by my guys over there with the Clock Boys. And, of course, at the number 12 position, Air Academy out of Washington. Look for them boys to really make an appearance down here in South Florida. Again, we got to see how this all shifts out as we get closer to the end of the year. Gold-Blooded Titans out of Texas. A very tough and very tenacious defense, and you've seen them play, Clay, representing Texas very well. And, of course, everybody knows about Southside Ducks. Only loss I really saw them play was early in the year against the Wildcats, but Southside Ducks is a very, very dominant team as well. And, of course, listen, those guys do it big over there. Coach Phil representing, of course, on the West Coast, Vegas Strong out of Nevada, holding it down at the number 9 spot. Then you start getting to that down south football. Ross Elite representing for Georgia at the number 8 position. And we're going to stay right there in Georgia at the number 7 position. Stonecrest, Camo Spartans, all these teams are very close when they play each other. Very tough competition. They still got to play each other as they keep going through their brackets in Georgia. So this is all going to kind of change positions as we get closer to the end of this regular and postseason as we get ready for nationals. At the number 6 position, City Life Raptors, the defending national champs. This may be the dark horse of 13U. Of course, it had a bumpy start in preseason. Ever since then, they've been on the roll. They haven't taken a loss. And that's the team that nobody wants to play. But they'll have no choice once they get in that steel cage match in South Florida. City Life Raptors, will they be able to bring a second crystal ball home? Will they be able to rock another battle uniform on the house fully sponsored? Only one way to find out. They're definitely locked in for YNC. Climbing those, of course, Miami Gardens Ravens, the 13 led by Coach Butter, a team that wants to play both once again. He played in the YNC the year before, took an L, kind of roughed the competition. As we say, always get stouts in the YNC. And, of course, the Motor City Jags, very interested about this team. Probably one of the best players, offensive players, is on this team at the quarterback position. They have an opportunity. They every time they step on the field, they can win any game. They played Watkins Hoyland early this year. That was a barn burner. But everybody knows that Jaguars is a team that can win a championship at any given moment. And it's a team that a lot of people haven't seen. They, of course, came out in the preseason and been playing with inside of their league where they can't play outside of their league. But a team that's loaded. And when I tell you loaded with talent, look out for the Wildcats. Of course, everybody's seen the Clock Boys play day, week in and week out. Some of the biggest games, of course, You've seen him playing against Kane Archer. You've seen him play against teams like the Jaguars. Clock Boys definitely representing at the number 2 position. Of course, still at the number 1, wire to wire. LA Rampage has been the number 1 team. We were looking for that matchup between number 1 and number 2, but of course, we all know that Rampage last week was stricken with COVID. So prayers up for that team, making sure that those babies bounce back. Most importantly, keep them healthy, and we look forward to seeing you guys down here in the 305. All at that 13 and under should be a movie. So you look at those top 8 teams, and I'll just name them real quick: Rampage, Watkins, Duluth, Motor City, Miami Gardens Ravens, City Life, Stonecrest Camo, Ross. That would be a very interesting mix to see those 8 teams come out there and who's going to come out on top. Tough competition, Clay.
So here's my question, Jonah, because I know you've spoken to the Clock Boys more than I have. Do you think they try to pull a Coach Keefe and go both? Or do you think maybe they...
Well, I'll tell you this, Clay. What Coach Mike and Coach Antonio has said, this is their last dance before they let these boys go to high school. So they want to give them different experiences. Of course, they're going to stay loyal to AYF. They want to play an AYF game, but they also want to come down and play a YNC championship. They want to run the game with Rampage, particularly in November, and maybe that happened or maybe it doesn't. But I think a lot of that that outcome, I should say, of that game is really going to determine where they really want to play. Rampage, of course, they came down to YNC last year, didn't make it. They found out how tough that competition was last year at the 12 and under. They came here and it was boom, quick. They were ranked number 1 and came down here and got knocked out early. So they want to come back and prove a point. So you'll know Rampage will be here in South Florida trying to prove to the rest of the 13Us they want that crystal ball. They want their battle gear. And their 3-finger ring, Clay. So that's
man. Oh, you almost made me forget about it, Jonah. God damn.
You can't forget about that. So I always will tell you, a lot of teams that determine where they're playing is always competition. A coach is going to tell you, the coaches that's got it. There's 2 different coaches, and I'll go here now since we want to talk about. There's a coach that wants
a
championship play. And what I mean by a safe championship, hey, man, let me see what's the brackets. Okay, all those teams over there. Okay, I'm going to slide over here and play this. And at the end of the year, I'm going to get on Instagram. Oh, national champ. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to feel that you're the CEO of your team as a head coach. And some of those parents and some of those dads, they don't want to dodge a fade. They want to run right into it. And so it's a dissatisfying feeling that sometimes you win a national championship and you haven't played the best. And I'll give you an example, like Coach Reggie. He won a championship for Air last year at a particular age group, but he still wanted to feel that he wanted to play the best. And so at the beginning of his year, that's when he went to go seek and find it. And unfortunately, it was a buzzsaw for that game. But kudos to Coach Reggie from Air because he doesn't run from smoke. So the lesson that he's giving his kids, win, lose, or draw, competition, bro, we run into it. And that's going to help those kids in high school. It's going to help them in college because these strategic matchup coaches, I think it's changing the game, unfortunately, for
it's sad,
football.
Jonah.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And so
it's sad. I hate it. I hate that shit.
Yeah. And so I'm not going to take that matchup. I'm going to take this matchup. I'm not going to play this championship. Bruh, give me the best and the best and let's go. Win, lose, or draw because it's got to be more than about winning. You got to be able to say, hey, when you have that conversation with your 30 players and your parents sitting behind me in practice, because I used to coach, so I'm not talking from a sports commentating type of vibe. I coached the Miami Gardens Chargers. You know what I'm saying? I had Dalvin Cook in them as my running back. I know what it is to look them in the eye and say, listen, bro, win, lose, or draw, I believe in y'all. I don't care what team they say we're going to play, what tournament we're going to be in, what national championship we're going to play. At the end of the day, if it's moving and it's our age group, we hitting it. All that. Well, I don't really know about going over there, man, because, I want to come back with a truck. Man, bro, don't coach my kid. I'm good. Don't coach my kid. Coach over there with them.
Man, and the sad thing about it is you classically condition these pick up on a lot of things, man. These kids, as parents, we're more on Facebook and we see all the going back and forth on Facebook, man, but get on that Instagram and just read how some of these kids look, man. I saw one post on one of the YNC posts. I think we had put a post up about one of our champions, and somebody was saying, "Oh, that they was the best from so." And them kids went in on them like, Man, nobody plays in that national championship. If you're not playing in the YNC, you're wasting your time. So it's funny because you can fool some adults. You can't fool these kids though, man.
But let me show you how rub off play. Now, and not to cut you off, let me show you rub off. So I'm at a 7-on-7 event in the off season, and they having 1-on-1s, DBs against wide receivers. That's 1-on-1. Ain't no hiding, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching the DBs. They looking at what wide receiver. Everybody know who's the top wide receiver. They know who the top DB is. So when they see the wide receiver, now you got some players like, no, you go ahead, you go. You know where that's coming from, bro? That's from that ducking and hiding, and you giving it to your kids. So now they got 1-on-1 situations, and they don't even want that fire, bro.
And they should. Man.
Yeah, they should want it. You know what I'm saying? But if I see my coach ducking hide, I'm a ducking hide. And that's what they're giving them by ducking and hiding. Bro, no matter what the game is, go out there and play it. I can tell you some coaches right now that they don't run the smoke. So say what you want to say about Coach Reggie. He took 3 losses. He took this loss. How y'all have them ranked? Bro, he got more national plays than what you do. So that's why. You know what I'm saying? So we got to respect that. We always encourage, get on the football field, get on the airplane and play. So how could you not reward that? You know what I'm saying? So he went out there, played rare breed stuff, 12-6 game. Man, so listen, it's football. It's football. But let me not start ranting, man. Let's
All right, well, I'm going to jump into 12U. I'm going to jump into these 12U rankings. We're going to keep them rolling. And then, of course, we got to talk about these invites I'm dropping tonight.
Yes, sir.
So, 12U, sitting at number 15 and back in the mix. 2 years ago, they was our national runner-ups, and they've clawed their way back into the mix. They had a little bit of a rough start, but I think they're healthy now. I think they fired on all cylinders. They had a big win last weekend in the playoffs. And look, man, I talked to Coach B, and he said they're going to steady be rolling, and that's Falcons United out of Georgia. Number 14, you have the East Metro Steelers, another Georgia team. Sitting at number 13, and I talked to this head coach today, and you know what he told me? He said, Clayton, we finna knock off the Lauderhill Lions after we done already just beat Freezy. This is what he told me. He said, I beat Freezy last week. He said, I'm about to knock off the Lauderhill Lions in the playoffs. And that's
that was a big win in South Florida, Clay. That was a big win in South Florida. You're talking about the Golden Army, man. And listen, Golden Army was favored to beat Lauderdale Lakes Vikings. Freezy hasn't been knocked out in the first round of playoffs, second round of playoffs. And one more win, they go to Super Bowl. Everybody was anticipating that rematch. Lauderdale Lions, Golden Army, City about to come out. Nah, it's Lauderdale Lions, Lauderdale Lakes had a lot to say about it. Congratulations to the Vikings pulling off a big win.
Most definitely. Number 12, undefeated and steady rolling, Pearland Hurricanes. Sitting at number 11, you have the Orlando Outlaws, another tough team with a tenacious defense. And another team last year, which was our national runner-up, had a rough start in the preseason, rough start in the regular season. But now it's the time of year when you really need to be hot, and they clawing back into it. Cincinnati Bearcats Elite. Number 5, you have the Southfield Falcons from Michigan. And number 8, District Heights Chiefs, another team that is bouncing back after they took that close loss to the Louisville Chargers. Now, I tell you, man, here's another team that interests me, and I tell you why. District Heights Chiefs traditionally has been a AYF team. But with them suffering that very close loss to the Louisville Chargers, do you say, hey, we go back to AYF? Or do you say, we know where the Chargers are going to be, let's go redeem ourselves? Because it's one thing if you get blown out. It's another thing when it's close enough. And that might have been the closest game Louisville had in the past 2 years.
Yeah, but don't sleep too, Clay. District Heights has also lost to a team that's ranked below them. District Heights just has only 2 losses, but they lost to Cincinnati Bearcats, and we already know Cincinnati Bearcats and where Louisville Chargers going to be. So if you go there and you win, you still got 2 teams that you want to go get your bike back. You feel me? It's just real talk.
So, sitting at number 7, you have the Cypress Lake Hornets out of Florida. Number 6, SRT Boys, the SRT Giants, North Carolina. Number 5, and another traditional team that normally goes AYF. I seriously doubt these guys are going to go YNC, but you never know. They might surprise me. Cali Bears out of California. Sitting at number 4, you have the ABA Bulldogs out of Georgia. Number 3, and looks like they're being hunted by the number 13 team this weekend, the Lauderhill Lions. Number 2 team in the country. And one thing I can say is they have enough games now. They will be getting the invite tonight.
What?
DEA, Dragon
Wow.
Elite Academy out of Texas. And of course, the number 1 12U team in the country. It might be the number 1 team, youth football team in the country, pound for pound. Coach Jew, Louisville Chargers, still sitting at number 1 in the country.
Well, I got to tell you, it was very close because look for, as these games continue to move on, SRT Giants, it's probably a dark horse at this 12U. That's probably, a lot of people feel they should be the number 4 team in the country from what they've played with their schedule. So look for them, Cali Bears, ABA, look out. SRT's on the move up. And why is that important, Clay? Again, we talk about seeding. These rankings aren't just for entertainment, just to print them out. It's going to seed you. Who you play and when you get down here to Florida. And that's all so important, man, because we all know after those kids get excited, you get off the airplane, sometimes you need a warm-up to get back in the acclimating side of the game. So look out for these 12U seedings. But before we keep talking about those seedings, let me jump over here to the 11U, which I think is a very deep pool of talent outside of the OG Ducks having a very dominant season. And listen, I really like those boys and we'll talk about in a second. The boys that's played them real tough over there in the West Coast, Arizona Suns, that I really want to see the Suns match up against a lot of these teams here in South Florida. So, but we'll talk about these rankings real quick. Let's just run it real quick. At the 11U, 15, number 15, the Louisiana Grizzlies out of Louisiana, of course. At the number 14 spot, Brick City Lions out of New Jersey. Another team, again, I'm saying it again, North Carolina Giants out of North Carolina. Listen, I think the reason these two teams are good because they're playing each other in practice, man. Look for the Giants to really try to push into these top 8, top 10 teams to make a push to get into the YNC. Of course, you love this team. They've been rolling out there in Texas. Pat Prime, man, can't say enough about them. I watched them when I was out there in Texas. A very solid team that can really just push to be a national championship as well. Now, this team just recently took a loss. But you know what? They've been out there. They've been competing. Chargers, Birmingham Chargers out of Alabama. They've been competing. They took a loss to the West Orlando Jaguars. But this Chargers team is a very dangerous team. They had a very good weekend this weekend pass over there and with the Halloween vibe. But listen, Chargers are a team you got to watch. San Antonio Outlaws. Listen, Coach Fred doing it big over there, Outlaws. We want to see them compete in the YNC. Come pull some strings, Clay. Go over there, holler at some of the team moms, holler at the players. See what you got to do. Look at that. I know. Don't let Coach take the easy way out this year, man. Let him go out there and get it.
Man, I'm going to put some pressure on him, man. But you know how Fred is. I'm going to put some pressure on him.
Yes, sir. Yeah, tell him we're going to take him to the barbecue shack and the Conch shack down here in South Florida. Let him have a good vibe, man. Carroll City Chiefs, Coach Kuhn leading his squad, undefeated season at the number 9 spot. Arizona Suns, like I told you a little earlier, really gave the OG Ducks a run. Very solid team. This is a very tough team. Man, I want to see Arizona Suns down here in South Florida. PME, the Bears, man, representing out of Virginia. Playmakers Elite, holding down at number 7. RDU, the defending national champs, winning 3 national championships back-to-back. He wants to go ahead and break the record this year. Still in the mix. Had a couple rough Nick games, but they've been playing top-ranked teams. If anybody can pull it off, it's RDU. West Orlando Jaguars, big win. Listen, they had a big win over Rare Breeds, but Rare Breeds having a big win over RDU. And that's how the Rare Breeds are in front of the West Orlando Jaguars. But the two evenly matched teams at number 4 and 5 right there, Clay, don't expect it to stay the same way. Number 3, St. Louis Bad Boys. Bad Boys are committed. Coming down to the YNC, everybody says, listen, we don't feel Bad Boys belong in the top 3. Bad Boys say, nah, we're going to show them. We're going to punch them in the mouth as soon as we get off the bus. Of course, DMV Knights holding it down, representing from the D.C. area, back at the number 2. And, of course, the reigning big dog at the 11 and under, the OG Ducks, a.k.a. Dream Chasers, holding it down at the 11 and under, Clay.
I tell you what, man, that 11U is thick. It's thick from top to bottom. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's so close that any one of those teams from probably number 7 down to 15 could all be 7 and 8.
Correct.
In any shape, form, or fashion, depending on how you slice it. This is a group where I see possibly two teams below the ranking of 10 that may jump up into the top 8 before the season's over with. A lot of these
I
teams
agree.
have to play each other in playoffs. A lot of these teams are playing in these different events. We had the Halloween Massacre event in New Orleans. You got Rank Up coming right around the corner in Atlanta.
Yep.
It's gonna be some major movement in 11U. Mark my words. Some major
I
movement
agree.
in. So rolling over to 10U, and what a lot of people consider one of the most talked about age groups in the country this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this thing rolling straight. Sitting at number 15, you have the Cypress Hornets out of Florida. Now, number 14 team is a team that I've been hearing a lot about lately from my guy up there, U City Hit Squad out of Missouri. Number 13, you have Playmakers Elite out of Virginia. My man Jawan always keeps me up to date with what PME has going on. And sitting at
Oh
number
yeah.
12, OG Ducks out of California. And if you notice, man, OG is showing a level of consistency in almost every bracket. I can't
Yeah.
say too many organizations, that has a team nationally ranked in the top 15 in almost every age group.
Right.
At number 11, you have the Southfield Falcons out of Michigan, another AYF powerhouse from top to bottom organization. We'll see if they decide to try to do both of them or if they just go their traditional route. At number 10, Progress Village Panthers out of Florida, another team that I tell you what, man, I know they were ranked a little bit higher, but I think this is one of those things where strength of schedule kind of play a factor when you have some teams jump over them because they haven't played any, of any heavy ranking
National
lately.
competition. Yeah.
Number 9, those boys from Air Academy, man. People can say what they want about Air Academy, especially after that huge loss to SED in the preseason. But the thing about it is this. One thing about Coach Reggie is, man, he keeps his kids playing the best competition across the country. And when you traveling and playing the type of schedule that he's playing, you got to respect them, with what their results are so far. Number 8 team in the country, and they've got a big game this weekend against the number 6 team in the country. My man Rob Mack is back, Miami Garden Ravens.
Yeah.
Sitting at number 7. And shout out to my man Drizzy. He came on here a couple weeks ago and took our show over. And then, oh man, took a tough one to the Red Dog Unit. Or as my man Reggie calls them, Real Deal University. But sitting at number 7, Falcons United. Number 6, and like I said, big game between these guys and the Miami Garden Ravens for the the FYFL championship this weekend.
Yes, sir. Yep. It's gonna be next
You have
weekend.
the
They got
Lauderdale Lake Vikings at number 6. Lauderdale Lake Vikings, and that matchup 6 versus 8, man. Somebody is gonna get knocked out of the top 10 after that game.
Yep. That's correct. It's gonna open up another
Number 5
spot
in the country, and our national runner-up from last year, RDU. Sitting at number 4, Northside Pride. And from my understanding, they were supposed to have a big game this weekend versus Rare Breeds, correct?
That's correct.
So
they
I'm
sent me a
hearing through
text.
the
We're gonna get some clarity. As a matter of fact, hold on. We got Marcus on here now. Clay, I think you hit the. I think you hit your mute, but yeah, we got Rare Breeds on here now. I just got a text right before the show came on that coach, we already got the charter buses to go to Atlanta to play Rare Breeds. They say we don't play competition. We the number 14. We going to number 2 to their backyard. Marcus said they so man. Where you at, Marcus? Like, come clean.
Marcus, they say you canceled the game, Marcus.
Wow.
So you're telling me DeMarcus canceled the game?
This is what the coach is telling me. But you know what? The thing about it, they've already locked the dates. I was involved with them locking the dates. I don't see why they would change the dates. If they already chartered the bus and they coming to Rare Breeds home, hey, we already talked about what that means. We got to play that game, bro. We know. We already know what that means. We got to play that. So it ain't. We're not saying, hey.
We have to give Flanagan an opportunity to defend himself. At this point, it's just he say. But,
correct.
I mean, when somebody done booked the charter bus, I mean, what can you really say?
That man screenshotted me receipts, bro. So
DeMarcus.
let's take a vote on here, ladies and gentlemen. If you lock in with a team, right? Let's just take a vote in there. I want to hear a vote. You lock in with a team, and this team says, man, you don't even have to come to us. We coming to you. We want that rank. All right, we locked in on this date. That team lock in, they hit the charter bus. What do you think? Are they locked in? Let me just hear it, everybody. Y'all chime in. Are they locked in? Is that a locked in game? So whatever DeMarcus doing on, I think it's the 19th, does he need to cancel that and honor that Northside Pride number 4 versus 2 matchup? Let's hear it. Y'all chime in. So go ahead.
And here's the crazy thing, man. Here's the crazy thing about it, Jonah. DeMarcus is one of the ambassadors of Let's Go Now. DeMarcus is the guy that his team, remember, we called them, 48-hour notice. Hey,
Correct.
man, y'all want to go play Blue Crush in DMV? And they jumped right on it, you know? So I know that's what makes it hard for me to believe that DeMarcus would cancel a game like this, because I've seen Mark travel across the country for these big games.
Right.
I just don't believe it, Jonah. I don't believe it, bro.
So, Northside Pride, if y'all know anyone on Northside Pride, tag the coach, tag him on here. Let's clear it up, man. This is Call Out Thursday right now. Let's clear it up. That's why I was really
I don't know if you can see the comments, but Moffitt going in. Moffitt going in.
Oh, man. Let me go ahead and get my little comments updated real quick.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go through the rest of the rankings, man. So, number 4, Northside Pride. Sitting at number 3 now. The Bessemer Tigers out of Alabama.
Yeah. Moving up.
Number 2 team in the country right now. Rare Breeze. Their resume speaks for itself. Hopefully what I'm hearing is not true. I'm riding with DeMarcus on this, and I don't think it's true, though, Jonah, but I guess we'll see the judge. We'll see what happens. And then the number 1 10U team in the world, people, the world, Southeast Dallas Wolverines, still sitting at number 1, as Jonah would say, wire to wire. And they already have an invite to the YNC. They already got flights booked. They already got hotels booked. They got they vans booked. I mean, it's going down.
So Clay, let's look at that 10U bracket right now. Let's just be realistic right now. So we already know number 6 has to play number 8, and 6 is Lauderdale Lions and Miami Gardens. They're in one particular league. They're going to play for a Super Bowl champion. So that's going to open up a spot.
So 1 and 2 going to fall out. Yep.
Correct.
So if I'm taking a look at this, Jonah, I know SED is coming YNC.
Correct.
I know Rare Breeds is coming YNC. Traditionally, Bessemer has always come YNC. Northside Pride, based on what they've told me, is coming YNC. RDU, YNC. Lauderdale Lake Vikings, YNC. Falcons United, YNC. Miami Garden Ravens, they'll do AYF and YNC. But like you said, one of those 2 have to bounce off, which would bring back into the mix Air Academy, YNC. Man, this could be funky. This 10U could get funky, baby.
Quick. But that's why you got to keep playing to the end of the season, because you don't know what teams have to have head-to-head matchups. You don't know what teams may decline. You don't know what teams won't travel. So you just got to keep playing football. That's why I'm excited about Rank Up, because regardless of what they're seeing here at number 11 and number 12, it gives an opportunity for teams to go ahead and punch their way in. So now that you brought up the number 10, I'm going to jump right to the number 9, or not, 9, you not the number 9. 9 and under, another action-packed age group play. When I tell you, this is probably outside of Lambeau being very dominant. This has been one of the most, I want to say, parallel, even age groups that anybody can just upset anybody on that first day. So we say Tuesdays, first game's Tuesday, right? I think the biggest
first game's Tuesday
upsets is Tuesdays, because some of the teams come in there so big-headed on that first day. They come in with the portable speaker, the smoke, the flags, and bam, you out of there. Out of there, bro. You, your flags, your smoke machine, your music. You just
it's one thing guaranteed to go down Tuesday.
Right.
I'm gonna see my man Howard with a boombox that weighs twice as much as he do on
Right.
his back, screaming Lambo with a line of killers behind him. I know that for sure.
So, man, that Tuesday is going to be so important. But why I bring that up, Play? Because after I read these 15 teams, listen, that Tuesday can go to any of these teams. So a team that was ranked high is at the bottom of the barrel right now, taking a loss to an unranked team in the playoffs, the Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes. Man, I didn't see it coming. They got hit by a team that they didn't see it coming and has them outside looking in right now. Still a chance, but a very slim chance, but they do still have a chance hanging in there, coming at the 15 spot. At 14 spot, the Red Dog Unit, Real Deal University, representing Georgia, has a way to get in. Like I said, far a tunnel, but they can work for it. Pearland Hurricanes out of Texas, representing at the 9 and under as well, at the 13th position, just right good striking position to get into that top 10. Team that knocked off the Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes first time in the rankings this year, the Palm Beach Wildcats. Haven't heard that name. Welcome to the top 15 in the country, Palm Beach. You earned it by knocking off one of the most stronger 9U teams in the country. Then you have the Louisiana Wave. Louisiana Wave at the number 11 spot. And, of course, the NTB Bad Boys representing out of Missouri at the number 10 spot. So this number 11 and number 10 spot between Louisiana and Bad Boys, an opportunity where they can just jump in there at any time. An opportunity where, listen, all it takes is a blink, and we'll talk about this. We'll break this down in a second of how good or how these teams can go ahead and compete to get in that top 10. Then, of course, listen, Texas Crew, usually be in the top 3, but they're coming at the number 9, did something very special, beat a 10U in the bowl game, and they'll be playing another 10U team, but really climbing and securing their way outside, looking in and still right now, but look for the Crew team to really try to put some punch back into the end of their year. The OG Ducks, again, consistent.
Jonah.
Yeah.
Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pause you right there.
Okay.
We have to correct this.
Okay.
They are not known as Texas Crew anymore. They have officially formally changed their name to Athletes by Nature, ABN.
Hey, do you have some Prince music you could play real quick?
I'm just telling you, man.
Formerly known as,
they are Athletes by Nature now.
Formerly known as Prince. Purple. Go ahead. I'm gonna sing in the background while you do it. Go ahead. What's your name? Hey, but no, man. Hey, gotta give them their respect, man. Go out there, y'all. Change y'all name for whatever reasons. We gotta respect it. Congratulations, holding it down. So, tell me what does it stand for? Go ahead.
ABN, Athletes by Nature.
All right, Athletes by Nature, Naughty by Nature. We got all the music thing formerly known as. Man, I'm about to shoot my MTV thing here at the 9U. Y'all check me out, bro. I'm gonna do some MTV cribs when we do our little Airbnb for the 9U. But no, congratulations, them boys holding down on the 9 and under. The OG Ducks at 8 and under. At the number 8 spot. Listen, a team that I'm very interested in seeing competing from Nevada. Hey, listen, these boys want to compete. Coach is hitting us up. They want in, Clay. Sin City Tritons. Now, people may say, who are Sin City Tritons? Well, they knocked off the OG Ducks when OG Ducks were at the number 2. A very affordable team that can go out there and compete with anybody in the nation. So don't sleep on the Tritons. We want to see how they bring it to the table. And, of course, the DMV Knights. Hey, listen, these boys are super talented. Very, very strong schedule. Played 3 good, strong 3-4 teams on a strong schedule. I like the DMV Knights to put a lot of pressure on all these teams the entire weekend. DMV Knights, they made the commitment earlier in the season. Hey, we coming over, and they haven't disappointed. DMV Knights, boy, I want to see them continue doing big things. Duval Jags, man, this is probably one of the most electrifying 9 and under teams. They have a lot of offense, but will they have enough defense to stop a lot of the power offenses that they'll be going up against? Now, Great Elite out of New York, listen, coaches got to check back in with us, Clay. I think they have a big injury with one of their key players, and man, prayers are up. But I know they were really pushing to come back and compete in the national championships again. So we'll need to talk with those coaches. Right now, holding it down at number 4. But I think he's like almost Saquon for the New York Giants. A big impact on their offense. So we'll talk to those coaches and find out the details. And at the number 3 spot, coming out of Texas, TNS Cougars. This is a team that I think can come out of Texas and win it all, but they got to go through the Jaguars. The 9U goes through the Jaguars through Lambeau, but this is a team that can really put pressure on that. And probably one of the bigger teams in the 9U with a big back, Clay, Miami Gardens Chiefs, a.k.a. the Hot Boys. They have been on a roll. Undefeated this season. They want to just carry their success that they had through the COVID year to this year. And under the leadership of Coach Greg, they've been doing just that. Look for the Miami Gardens Chiefs to go ahead. They want to compete. They said, listen, we want the top teams out as soon as we get off the bus. We know we rank number 2, but we'll play Lambeau off the first game. So you hear that, Coach Howard? Coach Greg wants you off the rip. And, of course, King of the Hill right now, missed 1 year. And we all know that formerly known as the Texas Crew was the national champs last year. But Coach Lambeau, Coach Howard, wants his bite back. He didn't want to settle for that. They called this their redemption year, and they've been on a tear. I want to say Howard really started off strong, Clay. I mean, blowing teams out 38-0, 48-0, 46-0. And I don't know. They played a lot of games. I see a lot of closer games now. I don't know if Coach Howard's sandbagging it, trying to keep games close and not really showing his full arsenal as they get ready to go into the postseason. But it makes for an interesting mix of this 9U competition as we get ready to go into the 2021 YNC.
I'm excited about this 9U age division. To be honest with you, I think whatever 2 teams come out of this age level in the YNC National Championship, it might be the best national championship of all the age groups. Because one thing I could say, even if we just get CD, Jags, and ABN, formerly known as the Crew 3, that's going to be a show. Not to mention all the other matchups that could possibly jump out of it, whether it's the Miami Garden Chiefs, whether it's the TNS Cougars, Duval, et cetera, man. That national championship atmosphere for that game, man, might be the livest one out of all of them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Last year, when Central DeKalb played the Packers, I got to tell you, that was probably the most exciting, electric atmosphere. I mean, every play you heard the people going, ooh, and ah, and Blaze going against your boy. It was amazing, man. So you can expect them to bring that same electricity. And when you guys come up to those fields up in Wellington, man, it is a movie. You guys going to appreciate the facility that these kids will be able to play on, man. The press boxes, cameras on every field, live streaming every field. When we say it's literally going to be a movie, every game is literally going to be a movie. So we can't wait.
And I think that's the thing that was so dope, or that's so dope about the YNC in general. When I tell you that Lambeau and Packer game last year was so crazy, I remember the kids that go to IMG was skipping class to come watch that game. It was they all had
out there, boy.
Sandwiches in their IMG uniform, standing there cheering their ass off. It was crazy, man.
It was a movie.
All right, so let's roll into 8U. We got some people waiting. So 8U top 15 in the country. At number 15, you have the Louisville Dolphins out of Kentucky. Sitting at number 14, Mob Squad Tigers out of Tennessee. Number 13, and a team that over the past couple of years, man, we've been seeing them in a couple different age groups. That's the Great Elite out of New York. Number 12, you have the Virginia State Renegades. And sitting at number 11, and from what I hear from my guys, in New Orleans, you have the Louisiana Titans, number 11 8U in the country. Number 10 8U in the country, and from my understanding, they're going to be playing for their state championship this weekend against a team that's older than them, More Truth out of Oklahoma. Number 9, we have the Wahoma Seminoles out of Alabama, who have a lot of kids on that roster off of our national championship team from last year. Number 8, Tarrant City Tide out of Alabama, built in the image of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I haven't seen this team play a lot, man, but as I watch the comments on social media and I look at some of the clips, man, I think this is a team that may come in and surprise a lot of people in this bracket.
Suffocating defense. That's all I'm going to say, Clay.
Number 7, And these boys been on me hard. Clayton, where's my invite? Clay, where's my invite? Hey man, it's coming. Just keep doing what you're doing. Sitting at number 7, Pac Prime out of Fort Worth. Number 6 team out of California, OG Ducks. And I'm gonna tell you, this OG Duck team started the season hot. They was rolling. Went to Atlanta, took 2 hard ones from the number 1 and number 2 team in the country.
Yeah.
But they back on track and they rolling again. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to do their national championship run. The number 5 team, Lauderhill Lakes, again, steady mobbing along that whole organization. Number 4, Duval Jaguars. Again, it's amazing to me how you see the consistency in certain organizations in multiple age groups, and Duval is one of those organizations right now. The number 3 8U team in the country, Miami Garden Ravens. The question is, are they going to do both? Are they going to stay traditionally AYF? Or are they going to, follow the Rod Max and the Butters of the past and come on over to the YNC? The number 2 team in the country, and some people say maybe number 1, Twin City Outlaws out of Georgia. And on top of them, another Georgia team. Number 1 team in the country right now, a team I'm always excited to watch. I've seen them play 3 times. They never disappoint. And they always have the Flyers uniforms. Georgia Eagles out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. So that wraps up the 8U, my man.
8U. So we're going to run through these rankings because it's time to get these invites out. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the 7U. But listen, man, I was reading some of these comments, and they say, listen, pay attention to the 2022 on-goal boys. So they're going to bring everybody back. Blaze, Noah, all the big boys back, because that was a special team, man. And I would always tell Coach, man, listen, your offense can play with anybody in the country. We just need some stops, man. You get some stops, you can be a national champ. So he was not too far from being it. He was the game before getting to the championship. He just ran into a Lambeau team, which was as a dogfight. As a matter of fact, I think Coach Howard lost one of his top players in that game, man. And that's why, he didn't go in full strength for the national championship game against the crew. But he made no mistake, came up a little short. But that just tells you how intense these games are, man. That's how close you are from a victory. One player goes down, it can change the whole complexity of your national championship run. So, man, we hope these kids stay healthy. Coaches, y'all stay focused. And again, before we even get to these invites, it's not over for y'all. We're in November. A lot of things change. Clay and all the rest of the guys that sit around the table for our rankings committee and for our selection committee, when they sit down, it changes so much in November, more than any month in the year, because every game counts, every score counts, every touchdown counts. And you'll see a lot of these teams playing each other in the postseason, just knocking each other off. And as I always tell teams, it's easier to lose early in the season than it is to lose late. For example, Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes at the 9 and under, to lose against a 9-ranked team this late in the year, they wouldn't have fallen. You take that L early in the year, you get, have room to come back up. Now, can they still make it up? Yeah, but it's a harder climb because you're playing a team that wasn't previously ranked. You got to play your best football right now. So best football right now, let's go to 7 and under. Now that Clayton brought us the top 8U teams, at the number 15 spot, Oxford Circle Raiders out of Pennsylvania. And, of course, dropping all the way from the number 4 after taking a big loss against RDU, coming in at the end, looking all the way up, the Grant Junior Pacers at number 14. Crescent City Chargers out of Louisiana, just holding it down at the number 13 spot. And, of course, the Wichita Cowboys out of Kansas, a team that I think can compete. The 7U is a very interesting age group because it's not just about the fastest kid hitting the corner, but it's about implementing those schemes at an early age group, and that's the teams that usually come out on top. Team that I really like and that people forgot about them, the New Orleans Dolphins. Look for this New Orleans Dolphins to push to get into the YNC. Don't be surprised you see those Dolphin helmets down there in South Florida trying to blend in with the Miami Dolphins. It's probably better than the Miami Dolphins, to be real with you. So I would put my money on New Orleans Dolphins over these Miami Dolphins any day at a head-to-head competition. Of course, out of Florida, GMT Hurricanes representing. This is a team that has been to the YNC, has been in closer every year, trying to get to those rounds, getting that national experience. Look for the GMT Hurricanes to represent. And, of course, Playmakers Elite. This is a team with 1 loss in the season, one of the most dominant teams in the Maryland area, Look for Playmakers Elite to make that push to the YNC. SED Wolverines, the baby brothers of the best 10U in the world, as Clay would say it, trying to hold it down, trying to get 2 teams in there to be named out on the wall. But I can tell you, this 7 and under is no joke. We'll talk about the top 2 teams that's been really dominant, and the national championship is really going to run through those 2 teams, and everybody else has to really play up. A team that I really like, Tough Nose, gives the RDU a heck of a game every single time they play. I really like this Hatefield Hornets team, a Tough Nose team. When I tell you these teams, I only seen a game get away once with RDU where they went up 14-0, but it's usually a 7-6, 7-0 game. Hatefield Hornets can beat any team on this list. Look for the Hatefield Hornets to really represent out of Georgia as well. Bessemer Tigers, a tough team. It's so interesting how Georgia and Alabama goes together when it comes to these type of grudge matches. They're very familiar with each other. Bessemer Tiger has been traditionally putting in teams. You look at LA Wave, you look at all of these other teams that really have just got their start from Bessemer Tiger. If you don't know who LA Wave is at the 9 and under, they came from the Bessemer Park, and that's why they have a good tradition. Head coach by Coach Erica Weiss. Look for that team, like I mentioned, at the 9 and under to really just make a push as well for the national championship with the Bessemer roots. L'Oreal Stallions out of D.C., a clean-cut team, very complex offense. This is a team that can make a push as well. A lot of new faces that's going to be in the YNC this year. I really love it. 7 and under, the Bugatti Boys. This is a team that a lot of people haven't seen on a national level. Of course, I've been spoiled living in the South Florida area. I've been able to see this team get on the football field. A lot of talent, a lot of speed. They have a Super Bowl that they have to go and try to play, and they need one big win. But look at for the Lauderdale Lakes Vikings to really get there and make some pressure and some noise at the 7 and under. Pat Prime, again, we'll talk about Eden, one of those biggest youth football 7 and under players in the country. He's just not big. He's athletic. He's a monster. And if you're not used to playing something or someone like him at that age group, it's very intimidating. I mean, you see a kid at 7 and under. Clay, what would you say Aiden weighs? Just be realistic. Let's call it a buck. How much you think he weighs?
Well, I put it like this. My man Corey that works on the breakdown with me, he's a grown man. And Aiden is probably bigger than him. I would probably say Aiden might be around maybe 140, 150.
So
as a running
as
back.
A 7 and 0. Yeah, at 7 years old. So you're the mama on the other side, and your baby got to tackle that. It's a lot of things. Those kids got to make some 7U business decisions going in there and making a tackle. So now we talk about the number 2 team in the country. Man, Clay, what hold on, bro. Is it a misprint? What's going on here? Number 2. Whoa.
Hey, man, look at, hold on. Before you do that, before you talk about this, I almost hit it on the head. I said 140. They said 139.
Wow. And that ain't no joke. So we have Crew, formerly known as Crew, athletes, salvage by nature. Athletes by nature at the number 2 position this week, taking a backseat to RDU. Now, these 2 teams played in spring football. That team beat RDU in spring football. They have not played in the fall season. RDU recently went to California to play the number 4 team and knocked them off 38 or 39-0. So with that strength of schedule, playing those teams, playing the Hatefield Hornets, knocking off repetitive national ranked teams, RDU reclaims the number 1 spot. Clay, what's your opinion about that? Explain to you about strength of schedule and teams jumping in that situation.
So I think it's a clear case of strength of schedule, and it's a situation where ABN has been so dominant in their league that it's kind of hard to give them credit. And when I say credit, I mean national credit for some of the victories that they have. But I can tell you this, man, whether if you're number 1 or number 2, you're sitting pretty in the YNC,
Yeah.
But the one thing you can't take away from those RDU kids and those coaches, Coach Batten and staff, is they put those kids in a great position at the right time of year to get a big win, to try to leap over ABN, formerly known as the Crew, for that number 1 spot. So, Jonah, while you were talking, you kind of lost track of the numbers, and some of the people have been talking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and just label the numbers. So number 1 right now is RDU. Number 2 is ABN. Number 3 is Pac Prime. 4 is the Lauderdale Lake Vikings. 5 was the Laurel Stallions. 6 was Bessemer Tigers. 7 was
Correct.
Hapeville Hornets. 8 was the SED Wolverines. 9 was Playmakers Elite, and 10 was the GMT Hurricanes. So
Correct.
there you go, guys. In the numerical order.
Because I got caught up, bro.
So
Oh no,
yeah,
and I
they
don't
talk
want
about
to. I
Clay
don't want
help
to
him.
forget.
Clay help him.
And let's not forget the teams on the rise real quick too. Of course, 11 New Orleans Dolphins, number 12 Wichita Cowboys, number 13 Crescent City Chargers, number 14 Grant Junior Pacers, and 15 Oxford Circle Raiders. So that's your 7 and under. Forgive the hype.
All right, guys. So listen, I'm gonna roll right into these 6U rankings. I'm gonna answer Chris's question. Is there a cutoff date for teams to decide if they go into the YNC? So far we've been giving out verbal invites. I'm gonna give out some more verbal invites tonight. But what will happen is within the next 48 hours of tonight, they will get their official invite packet via email to the team. The team has 72 hours to confirm by email if they are attending the YNC or not. If they don't confirm within those 72 hours, we then can begin to start inviting other teams for that particular slot. So again, guys, just because you're 1 through 8 doesn't mean you're locked into the YNC. If you take your time uh, reserving your spot, then ultimately we need to invite some other teams, because at the end of the day, we want to give all teams the opportunity to make travel arrangements and plan their flights or driving situation, hotels, different things like that. So that's how that works. But rolling in the 6U, rolling in the 6U. You always give me 6U because you know I can't say this damn word on number 15. I'm gonna mess this up again. Penniless Park T-Birds. Is that right?
Say it again.
Penniless.
Oh man,
Finalists.
This sound like they penniless.
Well, hey, they sitting at
Pinellas
number 15 right
Park
now.
T-Birds, man.
Number 14, Maryland Elite. A strong team, man. They really impressed me when I saw them in DMV. And it looks like they've been rolling. At number 13, you have the Bessemer Tigers out of Alabama. Sitting at number 12 on 6U, Orlando Outlaws out of Florida. Number 11, Playmakers Elite Bears out of Maryland. My man Jawan doing this thing. Number 10, Maryland Heat. Maryland Heat. Probably one of the fastest 6-year-olds in the country on that team, man. Number 9, you have the Tarrant City Tide out of Alabama. Again, number 8, at a team that we've been seeing a lot lately, Lauderdale Lake Vikings out of Florida. Number 7, Red Dog Unit, RDU out of Atlanta, Georgia. And number 6, you have the Osceola Cowboys from Florida. Now, starting off top 5, number 5 in the country right now, Elite Golden Bears out of Texas. Number 4, 8 Mile Giants out of Alabama. Sitting at number 3, all the way from the West Coast, Grant Junior Pacers from California. The number 2, still number 2 team in the country right now, Duval Jags out of Florida. And the number 1 6U team in the country, ABN, formerly known as the Crew. And like I said, man, if it happens, like everyone says, this ABN and Duval matchup in the national championship on 6U could be epic. Could be epic. Could be epic.
But listen, you got a lot of 6Us that said, man, that's not going to happen. You got your boy Nadi out of Lauderdale Lakes. The Dog Pound say he is coming home with a national championship this year. 8 Miles feel this is their best 6U team that they fielded in a long time. And it's been some good 6U teams that came out of there. And Maryland Heat feels that they're the best in the DMV and they're the best in the nation. So, man, you got a lot of teams stretched all over there. We'll see who accepts. What teams get knocked off as they get closer to the season, to the postseason. But man, another age group that I think is too deep for 8. I think that's a team that we got to get that at 10 just so we can sort it out and make sure that the best 10 teams in the nation get on the football field to kind of knock it out. Who's going to be the best in the nation?
So I can tell you this, man. Before I start dropping these invites tonight, Jonah.
Yeah.
Before I start dropping these invites tonight, man, is there anything you want to talk to the people about? Anything you want to get off your chest?
Man, I just want to just say, listen, coaches, we can't control where y'all play and who y'all play. We don't even want to get into that. We're not a league. We really want to just kind of just find the best teams to really get them on one football field at the end of the year. But man, just listen, we don't want to get the calls all the time, man. Hey, listen, coach just canceled out on me. Coach ignoring my calls. Now that y'all have put it out on Sunday that, to be dodging calls, none of these coaches' phone work anymore. They can't reach out. They play the games, man. Don't be afraid to play the games. This is what it's all about. Win, lose, or draw, give the kids experience. And man, listen, it's going to give you some self-therapy as a man just to say, you know what? I didn't have to run from this challenge. I can go ahead and take it on head-to-head, man. So let's just go ahead and let's get the matchups in. And, of course, let's talk about ranked up. Before we talk about these invites, Clay, we don't want it to be an end of the road for you guys to say, hey, I don't have an option. This is it. I'm going to have to go to another tournament. Well, it's not a tournament. We don't like to be referred to as a tournament. We want to be referred to as a national championship. Why the difference between the two? This is not just playing for a trophy. This is not just, it's about the experience. It's about coming down for the whole, week and enjoying the people that you're going to be playing against, and then just really winning what you're going to win for your babies and let them coming out there and win it. So the national championship field is it's a movie. So November, the Thanksgiving weekend, the 26th through the 28th will be your opportunity. Get out there, and even if you're a top football team, man, and you want to get in that work, and you want to go ahead and there's some teams that their season ends this coming week. They play the Super Bowl. They don't play any more football. So before you get out there on that national championship field, you're going to want to play some real competition and get it in and see that speed. No better place than playing at Rank Up. And Rank Up is going to have the top teams versus taking on teams that's trying to get into those top 8, those top 10 positions. So it's your opportunity to get out there, have some fun. Again, it's going to be a weekend of fun, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bracket style play, 8-4-2, and that's it. Then you guys go home, travel back on Sunday. But Rank Up is going to be a movie in Atlanta, a little chillier weather than what you're going to get in November, December in South Florida. But it's going to be some excellent football. So without that, man, I'm excited, Clay. Let's get these invitations rolling, and these people want to see if they coming to South Florida, bro.
So listen, guys. Again, like I told you, these aren't all the teams that are going to be invited, but these are the teams that are verbally invited as of now and as of tonight. Now, like I said, all these teams within 48 hours will receive their emailed packet, not only just from Zords, but from the Youth National Championship to get everything going. Once you receive that packet, you have 72 hours to email back, not text Clayton, not call Jonah, not send a Facebook message to Generation Next. You have 72 hours to email back, reply to that email, and confirm that you will be attending the Youth National Championship. And within that 72 hours, once the 72 hours has expired, if you have not replied to confirm that, then we're going to go ahead and invite the next team down. And we'll keep rolling like that every 72 hours until we get our bracket filled up with the 8 best teams that want all the smoke, that want to come to South Florida and see what big time youth football is all about. So with that being said, since we started with 14U, I'm going to start with 6U when we talk about these invites. So as of right now, ABN and Duval Jags have invites. I'm dropping 4 invites tonight. Congratulations to these 4 additional teams on 6U. Grant Junior Pacers, 8 Mile Giants, Elite Golden Bears, and the Osceola Cowboys. Congratulations. Those 4 6Us are receiving invites tonight.
Wow. I like it.
Rolling on to 7U. Right now, ABN, RDU, and Pac Prime already have their invites. I'm going to drop 3 more tonight. Lauderdale Lake Vikings, the Laurel Stallions, and the Bessemer Tigers on 7U. Those 3 teams now have invitations to the Youth National Championship.
Nice.
Moving on up to 8U. As we sit right now, Georgia Eagles, Twin City Outlaws, and Miami Garden Ravens, all 3 of them have invites. Going to drop 3 more tonight. On 8U, congratulations to the Duval Jaguars, the Lauderdale Lake Vikings, and the OG. Congratulations you guys officially have invites for the YNC.
Dope.
9U. Of course, we know Lambeau was the first of anyone to receive their invite. Fastest invite given in YNC history. Miami Garden Chiefs have received their invite, and the TNS Cougars on 9U have received their invite. We're dropping 3 more invites tonight. Great Elite, Duval Jaguars, and the DMV Knights. Congratulations, guys. You received your invites to the YNC tonight on 9U. Rolling over to 10U, SED Wolverines, Rare Breeds, and Falcons United all have their invites. And a lot of people say, well, Sean lost. Why does he still have an invite? He's still sitting at number 7 in the country. So as of yet, his invite is still good. 3 more
so Sean,
drop
you
tonight.
The fence, Sean.
3 more we invite tonight. Bessemer Tigers, Northside Pride, and RDU. Congratulations. Those 3 teams received their invitations on 10U. On 11U, we're dropping 4 tonight because there's only 2 that have invites so far, which is the OG Ducks and the DMV Knights. Congratulations to the St. Louis Bad Boys, the Rare Breeds, the West Orlando Jaguars, and RDU.
Back in the mix.
Now on 12U, we're going to drop 4 invites again because only 2 currently have theirs, which is the Louisville Chargers and the Lauderhill Lions.
Right.
But on 12U, congratulations to DEA. Congratulations to the ABA Bulldogs. Congratulations to the Cali Bears. Congratulations to the SRT Giants. You 4 have your invites to the Youth National Championship. 13U, dropping 4 more invites, as so far Rampage and Clock Boys already have their invites. On 13U, congratulations to the Duluth Wildcats, the Motor City Jaguars, the Miami Garden Ravens, and the defending national champions, City Life Raptors. Congratulations, guys. And at 14U, 4 invites dropping tonight. So far, the only ones that already have their invites are the OC Buckeyes and the OG Ducks. Congratulations to the Osceola Cowboys, the Mississippi Wolfpack, Vegas Strong, and a team I really hope I get to see up close and personal, the Montana Grizzlies. Congratulations, guys. Your championship invitation.
Yes, sir. Well, they are in good company, Clay. I like the action. I mean, I'm excited for those teams right now. And for the teams that haven't received them just, and you guys are still holding on, hey, let's play some football. Let's get out there, get in contact, of course, with Ware Panthers, one of the directors at Rank Up, and just let's play your football. I know a lot of you have playoffs and you have your Super Bowls. And Atlanta, I know you're going to – some of those teams and some of those invites may get retracted. Some people saying, man, it's 3 teams or 4 teams invited from there. Well, we know these teams got to play. So when those happen, we'll respond accordingly. But you just handle your business, and we'll make sure that we're paying attention to every single team right now, because this is when we really scout, because this is most important. Again, it's our responsibility to feel what we can bring as the top competition in for you guys to play for a national championship. And so with that being said, man, let's just stay focused right now, and we locked in, Clay.
And I tell you what, guys, if you didn't receive the invitation tonight, that doesn't mean you won't receive the invitation. Like Jonah said, keep playing, keep working hard. You've got a lot of people that's going to play their way out of an invitation, believe it or not. It happens every single year. So one thing I can tell you is that out of all the invitations that we have verbally given out, I guarantee you 100% of those teams will not commit. It happens every year. A lot of you guys love to get on social media and talk real big. Parents commit to something without talking to the head coach, or the head coach getting on social media saying, we're going to be there, and ain't raised not $1 for his team to travel. So, like I said, guys, if your name has been given for a verbal invitation, your team's name, I need you guys to go ahead and just message me, DM me, text me the head coach's or team mom's email address so I can confirm to make sure I have a good one, because when I send this stuff out in the next 48 hours, I'm sending them to the ones I have on file. What'd you say, Jonah?
Let me interrupt right here. Let me interrupt
Okay.
right here. How Marcus Flanagan popping up on out of nowhere when we was asking him about his game? He up here making comments that we're not taking no invitations back. Well, now all of a sudden, Marcus, you back on the scene right now. Hold on, let's address that game you got, bro. Them people say they played for charter tickets. What we doing, Coach? We coming up to bring the cameras up on the 19th to live stream your game against the number 4 team in the country.
Oh boy. Oh boy. He ain't
Hey,
gonna
you know
talk
what I
about
hear?
it.
You know what I hear, Clayton?
Yeah. Oh man.
What I'm hearing right now, bro. Oh, so yeah, that's good information, Clay. As you guys say, hey, listen, if you haven't received your invitation yet, hey, don't. And you got some people up here saying, listen, if you know those other teams aren't committing, give us our invitation now. It's not that simple. We got to let it all play out. So
We
just stay
gotta
on
let it play
standby.
out.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, man. Everybody thinks we have some sort of hidden agenda. Everybody thinks we've got some motive. Look, we want the 8 best teams, sometimes 10 best teams in the country that we can get to our event an opportunity to play. There's a process to this. Now, I can tell you, it's not always fair because sometimes, somebody and we give somebody an invite 2 weeks out, and the parents, they have to spend more money than a team that we may be invited a month out from the event. But unfortunately, you got to pay to play. So those are the sort of things that they kind of have to deal with. So look, this is why it's so critical that everybody follows these time frames with these invites. Because one thing I can tell you is that when we send this stuff out in the next 48 hours, when 72 hours hits, I'm going to invite some more people because we have to give parents, coaches, and players ample opportunity to be able to join the event and make the arrangements they want to make to reward their kids for a great season that they've had thus far.
So don't be surprised if Clay and I pop up. It may not be announced like how we do regular on Rank Up. We might just jump on the live and him and I split a live and get some invites over the weekend because like Clay said, we want to give you guys opportunity for planning and for trips and things of that nature. So this weekend is going to be some big games. We'll probably jump on by this weekend and let you guys know where we're going with that with the next one. So until we go ahead and fill it up. And then once we have it locked in, it's it. Everybody come on down. We'll switch from invite mode to party mode and to football mode and get ready just to host an amazing event, man, for you guys to come out here. The Cristobal trophies are already getting polished up. The MVP trophies getting already polished up. All them 3-finger rings. What them rings looking like, Clay? What those rings looking like over there,
Oh,
man?
come on, man. You try. Hey, some of these people, man, they're not going to be able to go to sleep when they get blinded like that. They're not going to be able to go to sleep, my man. So you know how this thing goes.
All right, man. Well, hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Clay, is there anything else you want to get off your chest before we hit it?
Hey, guys, like we said, hey, handle your business. Pay attention to your email. Keep playing ball. It's a process to this thing. We don't always get it right, but we definitely give the kids the best experience out there. So take advantage of the opportunities. For those of you teams that's on the bubble, rank up is the way to go. You never know what you'll do, coming out of that event.
Shout out to the team, AG, Panther, Josh, all those in the background. Shout out to my man Chin over there making up some nice little dope videos that we got coming up about the promo, this vibe coming on, man. Just shout out to everybody's doing. Of course, shout out to my boys over there in Texas, Breakdown doing it big, keeping us all informed from the Halloween vibe, big games that took place. Shout out to Sydney, really just giving us some good games that we could watch over this weekend as we break down the film, as we get closer to the postseason. And man, y'all just keep doing what you're doing, man. We cannot wait. December, just give them those dates again one time, Clay, so they know what they're doing from that Monday to that Saturday or to that.
All right,
to that
guys.
Saturday.
So remember, player certification team registration is that Monday, December 6th. Bracket play games and player registration will be at Signature Grand, which is 10 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale Airport. Bracket play or play-in games, however you choose to call it, label it, will be at Village Park Athletic Complex in Wellington, Florida, which is exactly 38 minutes to 43 minutes from Fort Lauderdale Airport. All right, those will where the games will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if you're still undefeated by Thursday night, Friday and Saturday, you will be playing in the YNC National Championship at Trash Pile Stadium in Miami, Florida. Trash Pile Stadium in Miami, Florida. So that's the rundown of everything. Hey, like I said, guys, the best play here. Let's do it.
Same time, same place, right here on Generation Next. Rankings Uncut. Of course, I'm Jonah Willett, my man Clayton Gillery, my man AG in the back. We'll catch y'all here next week.